This is Palestine. Not just a name on a map, not just a headline in the news, but a homeland, older than all those who tried to rewrite its history and greater than all attempts to erase it. Yet despite the clarity of truth, one question has echoed for decades. Who owns this land? Who has the right to it? Let's go back in time, to when the villages were alive, the streets filled with voices and the call to prayer echoed through the mosques for centuries. This is where Palestinians were born and lived, in Jaffa, Haifa, Jerusalem, Hebron, Gaza, cities that were never empty and never waited for an owner to return claiming it was his. But in 1948 everything changed. They came with a myth and turned it into a plan. They said, "This land has been ours for thousands of years, we are just returning." But how can one return to a place they were never in? How does a Palestinian, born of generations who tilled this land, suddenly become a stranger, while an outsider becomes its owner just because he arrived with a weapon? On the night of the Nakba, little Yusuf was playing outside his home in Haifa, unaware that it would be the last night he would ever see it. At midnight, loud knocks on doors shattered the silence, followed by screams, then gunfire. "Get out! This is no longer your home!" The scene was a nightmare. Families dragged out of their houses, children crying, men taken to an unknown fate. But the house remained. It was not left empty. The next morning a stranger stood in front of it holding a key that wasn't his, with a forged document written by the occupiers, stating that this house now belonged to him. But can repainting the walls change the truth? Can the memory of a child who witnessed his home being stolen be erased? Decades passed, and the occupation remained. But did they really own the land? If they were its rightful owners, why did they have to build a wall around themselves? If they were its rightful owners, why do they need an entire army to protect them from the original inhabitants? If they were its rightful owners, why do they fear the name Palestine so much? Because they are not the owners, and the land knows the truth. So who owns the land? Documents can be burned, homes can be demolished, and witnesses can be silenced. But there is one witness that can never be erased: Palestine itself. And Palestine knows its people.